The Delta Flight 191 accident serves as a textbook example of the microburst wind shear phenomena. As Flight 191 was being vectored for a southbound arrival at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, a rapidly building cumulonimbus cloud with a cloud base of approximately 6,000 feet had evolved to the north of runway 17 left. Approach control informed the flight that a rain shower existed to the north of the landing runway. It became apparent through other communications that the flight would be transiting heavy rain during their instrument approach. After intercepting the glide slope at an altitude of 1,600 feet, the flight crew noted that lightning, indicative of a convective cell, was coming out of the cloud producing the rain. This convective cloud was directly in front of Flight 191. It was clear that Flight 191's approach would take them directly underneath the convective cell. The flight crew elected to continue the approach. The target approach airspeed for Flight 191 was 150 knots. At approximately 1,000 feet, Flight 191 experienced the northern gust front of what would later be determined to be a 2-mile diameter downburst or microburst. This outflow from the microburst provided a headwind increase and was experienced by Flight 191 as an increase in airspeed, requiring the pilot to reduce the throttles to near flight idle in an attempt to preserve the target approach speed. At approximately 800 feet, Flight 191 entered the rain shaft beneath the storm and the headwind diminished, replaced by a severe downdraft which required full power and a high-pitch attitude to maintain glide slope. Despite being at full power, the airspeed continued to decrease. As Flight 191 descended towards 600 feet, it experienced another increase in headwind which increased airspeed. In response, throttles were retarded slightly and the flight was able to maintain glide slope despite being 10 knots below target airspeed and having experienced large variations in headwinds and downdrafts. As Flight 191 descended through 600 feet, it encountered severe wind variations as it traversed the southern outflow of the microburst. Post-accident analysis indicates that this outflow contained 3 severe horizontal vortical wind flows, which could be described as horizontal tornadoes. These winds were experienced by Flight 191 as large up and down drafts, which caused the airplane to roll abruptly. Full control inputs in pitch and roll were required to maintain attitude control. Despite application of full power, the outflow contained a large tailwind component which thwarted the flight crew's attempts to escape the microburst. Flight 191 was unable to accelerate and descended from the glide slope with a descent rate that reached a maximum of 5,000 feet per minute. Despite arresting the descent, a maximum tailwind component of 46 knots was experienced close to the ground, and the airplane made its first contact in a field approximately 6,000 feet north of the landing runway. The airplane then bounced into the air, hitting a car and light stanchions on Highway 114, which runs east and west, north of the airport. Fire erupted from the left side of the airplane, and Flight 191 skidded along the ground in a left wing down attitude before impacting water towers located on the airport property, where it exploded and broke apart.